everyone, welcome to month 4 of the Spring Dreams block of the month. It is Misty and Natalie.
Yes, and this is going to be a good one. We've got flying geese, we've got 4 patches.
That's
we've
right.
Got square and a square.
Square and a square. All simple blocks that you should be familiar with, but set in a fun way.
That's right. And if you're not familiar, we're going to walk you through every step, so it's going to be great.
That's right. And of course, we have this cute zipper pouch that you've gotten accustomed to, so let's go ahead and dig right in and see what we have. It's adorable with those little blocks across the top. So of course, we have the pattern for month 4. And this is the block that we'll be making, and Natalie has one done.
I have a finished block. They're so cute. They come together really quick. Just a few little units to put together.
That's right. And so then in today, or this month's kit, excuse me, you're going to have a cut of this beautiful dark blue, the yellow, our background, and a few squares of the light blue. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
All right.
Start reading through that thing. It looks like we start with our pre-cut.
Yeah, pre-cut squares. I'm going to give this a little press because the iron's hot. Awesome. And I can get these little rumples out of here.
You know, things get creased and wrinkled when they're in the mail. And
that's right. If you want to get us started.
Yes. Okay, so from our 10-inch fabric squares, it looks like we're cutting them all the same into 2-inch squares.
Okay.
We'll need 32.
Okay.
So, and we have 2 squares,
yeah,
correct?
they're stacked.
Yeah. So from one, we only need to use like the first quarter.
Couple strips.
Maybe just cut your first 2 strips and then take that top piece off.
Perfect.
That way we can save that just in case we need it for something else.
Perfect. So we're cutting some 2-inch segments.
Yep, now you can just take that. That's extra that we won't need this time.
This one aside.
Right. And then I would probably stack almost all my strips, if not all of them.
That's what I was thinking.
Subcut them into 2-inch squares.
All right.
We need 32. Leaving one of those strips whole is going to give you probably 3 extra squares.
Oh,
but
perfect.
I think that's fine. I don't mind having a few extras in the name of like efficiency.
Exactly. Just makes it easier to get everything lined up.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to stack these up now.
Yeah, that's always my preference, is to like
just make it
cut a couple extras rather than worrying so much about, you know, keeping that particular piece uncut.
Well, and then if any mistakes happen along the way, you're ready, right?
Or you drop one. I've had so many times where like I haven't realized what happened to my fabric until, I mean, however long later when I move my machine and it's underneath or it's on the floor under my table. I'll just misplace a piece that I need. Yes, happens so often to me.
So true.
I think because I do a lot of creating in chaos.
Yes.
You know, when you really get into it and you're chain piecing and you're cutting and you're experimenting, it can get really messy really quick.
Creativity is a little chaotic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Trim these a little bit of extra off. There we go.
All right.
Oops, see, I just dropped some of these on the floor.
Perfect.
There we go. There are our 2-inch squares.
You're in the right group.
Okay. You want to switch?
Sure.
Take a turn?
I'm happy to. Our next set is going to be these this beautiful buttery yellow color, and we're just cutting a bunch of 3.5-inch squares.
Okay, perfect.
So I feel like that's going to be easy breezy.
Yeah, just cut a couple strips, it looks like.
I'm lining up with my fold. This is cut so straight, I don't even feel like I need to straighten up my edge.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Yeah. I'm going to cut 2 strips.
And of course, as a reminder, we're doing the cutting for all of the blocks that you're going to need.
But we're only going to make one on camera because otherwise it would just it'd be a little bit of a long video.
That's right.
So from one of these, I'm going to cut the entire strip, and then from the other one, I'm only going to cut 4. So I think I will go ahead and stack them.
Perfect.
And then I'll cut 4 and take off the rest of that top strip just so that I have, save it for later.
Yep.
Because that is a real easy thing to do. All right.
3.5. I think I'll press this while you're finishing that so it's ready for the next step.
Okay. pull this top one off and set that aside, and then I will go ahead and cut the rest of these. It's very nice to have all of this stuff pre-cut, because then when you go to sew, it's just ready.
Yep, makes it so quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoop. Now, what size are our next strips?
So for this piece, you are going to cut 1 3.5-inch strip.
Okay.
And 4 2-inch strips.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to line that up with my straight line down here, just so I don't get any elbowing. And because I can't really tell, yep, I'm going to clean up that edge just a tiny bit.
It needed a bit.
The littlest amount here that I can possibly do. Okay, so my first cut is
3.5.
3.5.
Yep. And then that will be subcut the whole strip into 2-inch rectangles.
Okay. Are there any other strip
There
cuts?
are. So then you'll cut 4 more 2-inch strips.
Okay. And then I'm guessing these are they all cut down, or are they sewn?
2 of them will be cut down.
Okay. And then the
And
other
some of them are
two
for strip sets.
set aside? Mm-hmm. Did you say 4?
Yes, 4 total.
Okay. Pull those up. It can be really difficult to see when you've got blue
I know.
against kind of like a grayish, greenish, bluish color.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky with our dark matte.
I think that's extra.
Okay. So then all of these will now be cut into 2-inch segments. These 2 strips that you still have will be 2-inch squares, and then the other one will be 2-inch by 3.5-inch rectangles.
Oh, okay. How many do we need of each?
Well, I walked away to another job.
Okay, 16 rectangles and then 32 2-inch squares.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to check my selvage here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's enough. All right.
Get it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pivot and do this one strip. I was trying to keep everything in line, but it just became a little bit tedious.
Too much.
It's like it's too much straightening, you know.
Last one.
Yes, just a little bit of waste there. So those are ready to go. Then I will do these ones.
Beautiful.
Reset those. All right.
Okay, so now that cutting is done and we can move on to the background.
Perfect.
All right. Tried to press it a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was.
No worries.
All right, so it looks like we will be cutting 2 3.5-inch strips.
Okay. Oh, I had that all straightened out and then I moved it when I pulled my ruler or cutter out from that one.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right.
3.5?
Yep.
Okay.
2 at 3.5.
And then?
And then you need 5 2-inch.
Okay, perfect.
We are almost there. A couple more
cuts.
That's
right. Oop. Is this the last one?
Yep, that should be 5.
4. Okay. Perfect. Is this extra?
Yep, it is.
Plenty. That's great.
Yep.
Okay. Now.
All right. And so then from your 3.5-inch strips, well, actually, we'll set 2 of the 2-inch strips aside because those are for strip sets.
Okay.
So those go up with those blue.
Perfect.
And then from the 3.5 from your first strip, we need, excuse me, we need 4 3.5-inch squares.
Okay.
So she has this folded, so we'll get 2 at a time here.
Just cutting off that selvage edge and then going in. Okay.
All right, and then the rest of it is going to get cut into 2-inch rectangles. Yep.
Okay. You know what?
Yeah, there you go.
Use my little ruler here, just so it's a little bit less bulky.
Yeah.
It's easier to move. That one it felt a little cumbersome.
Too cumbersome,
at the moment. So yeah, this is great.
All right. And so then the other 3.5 strip will be entirely 2-inch rectangles.
Okay. I'm going to slide this over and make sure all of my little selvage dots are right on the edge of that fold. And we will get through this one. So much cutting.
I know.
The prep really makes the rest of the project go so easy. Oh, wrong pile.
Now we should have one little piece left because we only need 32 of those.
All right, so I'm going to cut 2 more, and then
from this little piece, we need 1 extra 2-inch square.
Okay. I can do that. Whoops. Can I? I was having a little bit of a struggle lining that up. Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
And then while you cut this down into 2-inch squares, because all of these strips will be 2-inch squares, I'm going to go ahead and start sewing one of our strip sets. Well, we'll only need 1 to make the block, but you would sew both of these together into a strip set.
Right. So for this block, to go back to this page, we're making 4 finished blocks.
Right.
I just love this page where it highlights the ones we're doing. It's so easy to see where they go and how many you need.
It really is.
All right. Put us back on the right page. We are doing our strip sets.
That's right.
Yes, and I will finish up the cutting of all of these into.
And then once that's done, we'll have all this ready to go into making our little units of the block. Pretty much shows the whole strip.
Yeah. Typically, with the fabric strip, you can almost always get 16 2.5-inch squares. So I imagine
you have a little extra.
It's really close with 2-inch, and that adds up just about right. Or are we?
Yeah, we will cut them, but you're good.
Cutting. Okay.
You finish what you're doing. We're just fine.
I'm close. I'm close. You're just so speedy on that machine. And I did take a little extra time lining everything up.
It's all good. We are not in a hurry. We're just enjoying the process.
That's a good place to be.
Yep.
In the sewing room with friends, just relaxing, doing what we love. Alrighty, I'm gonna set those aside, and there we go.
Beautiful.
So
all right.
Subcut these now
into little 2-inch segments.
Cool. So we're gonna need 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yep.
For our
block.
And just for a little bit of speed, I'm probably just gonna cut that many.
That's perfect.
So as I'm lining all of these up, just so everybody knows, I'm looking at the line down here, that like the lines on my ruler are lining up with my fabric, but I'm also noticing that my seam lines line up with the lines on my fabric as well, so that I'm getting that good 1/4 inch. It just helps double check and keep everything straight.
Yep.
So that then when you're making those 4 patches, you're able to nest your seams, and you can adjust a little bit if your seam gets a little wonky.
Oh, 2.
And you're right, it's so easy to do this. The width of ruler on this is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's so easy to line that up, just a little wonky. All right, so we've got 1, 2, almost there, 3, and a 4th.
Perfect.
There we go.
Last one.
Yes.
All
right, so we'll set this aside for finishing up. And now I'm gonna go ahead and press them so that we can make them into 4 patches.
All right.
Set all those seams at once.
I know, that's how I do it too. Save a little time where you can.
Yes.
All right.
4 patches are great because when you press them all the same direction, they automatically nest going the way they need to.
And so now she's pressed them both to the dark side, and so I'll flip this one around like we did in our previous month, and we'll just make sure that those seams are going to nest really nicely there in the middle, and then I'll sew down the side.
Perfect.
And then as she finishes pressing those, I can just chain piece these one after the other. Makes it go nice and quick.
As soon as I get them to you.
You're good.
All right. There you go.
Thank you.
And I'll start looking ahead to what's coming up next. Okay, so as those get finished, then we're going to add our 2 by 3.5 inch rectangle to the side.
Okay. Ooh, keeps wanting to shift on me there. And last one. Here, I'll give you these if you want to start pressing.
I would love to.
Okay. Here's this last one.
All right, so then one of the next things we're going to do is stitch one of our
2-inch
little 2-inch squares to the sides of 4 of these to make the one block.
Okay, perfect.
So if you want to go ahead and do that, then I will get these pressed and I'll hand them to you with
and we can assemble it all.
That goes on the side, and then our corner units will be done.
Perfect. So this is that 3.5 inch background rectangle, 3.5 by 2 inch with the 2-inch blue square.
All right. And as we're putting these together, we just need to make note that we want our 4 patch blue squares to line up with the unit square that goes in the bottom corner.
Okay.
So as we're putting our block, the little 2 by 3.5, we want to make sure that all of our stuff is oriented in that direction.
Okay, that's a great tip.
So there's those, and there's your last one.
And there's those extra squares.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
get these pressed so they're ready to join. It's coming along.
Yes, it is. I just find shape and piecing so satisfying.
There really is something about quilting, just kind of as a general rule, that's very satisfying.
It's so true.
Taking things that, you know, existed as larger pieces and then altering them to create something that's truly unique.
Yeah.
I love that.
And sometimes the repetition of the process is just really soothing.
It really
and relaxing.
is. No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Beautiful.
Oh, you know what? I think I'll press these the other direction.
Help it nest.
So that they'll nest together really easily for you.
Perfect.
These might not be, because I pressed them the other way.
That's okay. All right, and so we were adding this to this side, and so our little blue square will line up, so we'll have 3 in a row that are going to chain, and so we'll just add that to the bottom of these.
There you go.
Perfect.
However they need to be for you.
Yeah. Okay, there's that first one, and I'll
Perfect.
finish these up.
Starch that a little bit. Try and keep it nice and in shape. All right, that is our corner unit. So Misty's going to go ahead and finish up those other 4, and I'm going to start laying out. The next unit is our square and a square for these little outer corners. And so we're going to start by lining up, and it looks like we've got our fabric D and then our fabric F squares. So these guys are going to go on the corners, and we will need 4 of those. I'll give these a quick press.
Little press.
Yep. All right, so if you want, I'll give you your next step.
Oh, perfect.
Which is to snowball. We'll start with one corner, we'll trim them, press them, and then snowball the other corner with the light blues on both sides.
Okay.
And I'll give you 4 more of those, which, you know, you'll have to wait.
Yeah, in between.
You'll have to wait.
Part of the process.
Yes.
Oh, almost put it wrong sides facing the, the yellow.
Right. Well, and if you want to draw a line or press a line, you can. You can use your seam tape, but we are sewing on the line from corner to corner.
And I'm just
essentially
eyeballing it.
Snowballing
Yep.
to make these little square and a square units.
Okay.
We've got all 4 done. They're so great.
So cute.
One of the things I love about these big quilts that look so complicated is really when you break it down, it's just simple blocks that are put together with really interesting. Here, I'm going to use these big scissors. Yeah. It feels like it's much easier for me
to just trim it off.
Yes. And also to, you know, cut them apart. It just kind of makes sense.
Satisfying.
Yeah.
Here, I can go press real quick.
Okay.
Multi-talented here. All right.
Yeah, you're just showing off.
Yeah, right. All right, now we're just setting that and rolling back that corner.
Yep.
I'll let you finish. And then we'll add that same blue color to meet up with these, snowballing in the opposite direction.
And I think you can kind of skip ahead a tiny bit and put your white corner on the other corner.
Oh, you're right.
Because we're doing these, we're going to go around all four sides to create that square and a square. But these ones can go along one side and your blue can go along the other side.
We could have done that at the beginning too, opposites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
You are correct.
You know, you learn as you go sometimes.
So good little hacks and tips for speeding up the process if you want.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Okay, so I will finish adding these blue and then we'll flip them around and add white to the opposite corner.
Yeah, because by the time these all get all the way around, it doesn't really matter which seams went down first, second, you know, third, fourth. As long as you get the effect that you were going for and you keep that little 1/4-inch seam allowance so that you can keep your points.
Yep, that's all you're looking for.
Yeah.
All right. So now I will take my little train of blocks.
Yes, flip them
around and place it here on this opposite corner. And now we can sew point to point again.
And I think I'm going to jump even more ahead. So the last one we need to do is this middle square and a square, and it is assembled in exactly the same way.
Oh.
With the blues. Oh, I got a little bit of selvage on that one.
The dark blue.
Yes, and so we're going to go ahead and put those in rotation, and I'll let you do these two corners first, and then you can flip it and do the other corners after we trim and press.
Okay.
I do love efficiency hacks. I can't help myself. It's so satisfying.
It is the best.
To be like, okay, if we do it this way, it goes even faster.
That's right. Okay.
Which isn't at all to take away from the very soothing therapy
enjoying
this process.
That's right.
Yeah. There's so many things to love.
You can still enjoy it while being efficient, though.
That's true.
All right. And now flip this one around. Just making sure that corner is lined up. And I can help trim too.
You're trim off. Very good. I've got just a couple more to do.
No problem.
I need to give you some more of these blocks to work with.
Yeah.
And these squares. And I'm going to go ahead and...
I think we just need white and dark blue because the other side is...
We've already done them
both.
We've
already done both the blue. Yeah.
All right. Here's your middle.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
And we are just rolling back corners nice and easy. I am setting my seams ahead, and we did put our seam length a little bit smaller because these are all pretty little pieces.
They are.
So we shortened our stitch length on our machine.
Just helps a little bit with precision and making sure that your stitches don't come out as you're working with these smaller blocks.
Oh, I don't have to trim them off first. It's just a lot easier.
It is easier. So from these, I'm just adding those last white corners.
All righty. Our center square and a square is done and ready. That looks great.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to set these aside to complete all the rest of those blocks later.
Now I think all we have are some flying geese, right?
That's right. Our next step is the little flying geese blocks. And so we need to make 4 of these per block.
Okay.
So I'll hand those over to you because you're going to do essentially the same thing.
Right.
Where we're going to sew corner to corner from our top middle to our bottom right. We'll cut and flip and press, and then we'll do the same thing on the other sides.
Okay.
So I will let you get started on that while I trim and press these guys.
Perfect.
You have enough.
I think I do,
still?
yeah.
Okay, good. Because I will refill your stack if you need.
I think so far I'm great.
Got to keep our sewist happy. Right? Bring you a beverage, some snacks.
Teamwork makes the dream work,
Dab
right?
your forehead a little.
Yeah, we don't have enough chocolate with us, do we?
Not today. But can there ever really be enough?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Okay.
All right, so
Trim those apart.
Already.
Yeah.
I'm going to get these going.
We're making good progress now.
As long as I don't cut the wrong side.
Oh, I did that the other day and I was so frustrated with myself.
Yes, you're like, I was making flying geese and I have square triangles.
Yes, exactly. That's how you know it's probably been too many hours at the sewing machine, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know, I need to take a break when I pick something out and then do the same thing
mm-hmm.
that I just picked out. And if I do that twice or 3 times, it's definitely time for a walk.
It's time for a break. That's right. I did that the other day with, I was sewing on binding, and I sew binding on all the time with no issues. And I twisted it twice, joining them. I was so frustrated with myself.
And that gets, very, very painful when you're trying to put it back and you know you only have a limited amount of space to work with.
Exactly.
And you're wrestling the entire quilt.
Yes. I was pretty frustrated with myself.
Good times though, you know.
But it happens to all of us.
Those problems, yes, we've all experienced it. There we go. We've got one of our flying geese done. Oops. I just swept off an entire pile of 2-inch squares. You know we need that. I think I'm going to start building. So we're going to start in the middle because for me somehow that's always easiest.
I agree.
And then we're going to start by lining these little flying geese up with our middle block so that the blues match and kind of make that square to square even bigger.
Yeah.
It expands
Here, I can finish this while you lay out if you want.
Oh, okay. Sure.
That'll work. Yeah. Since you had started there.
Yeah. So then the next one is going to be our little square to square blocks that go around the outside edges. And our corner blocks, they turn in so that the 4-patch points to the middle. Oh, I had that up a little too high. We'll pull that down.
Here's another one of those.
Perfect. Our light blue faces towards center. Just need one more of those.
There we go.
Just like that. And
so
just
cute.
Like that. We're all laid out and ready to go. And when we get this stitched together, so I would probably join these 2.
Yep.
And then join the whole thing as a 9-patch. It's a little bit of an uneven 9-patch, but that's fine. And it goes and makes these blocks that are so great.
It's absolutely beautiful, and you can see them in the quilt here. There are 4.
Yeah.
So on each of these.
We've kind of got them in the corners around the medallion.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And
comes together and chains up. So you'll make 4, you'll set them aside with your other blocks and save them until month 9 when we assemble.
That's right.
It's going to be great.
And so now you are all done, and we will see you at month 5.
Bye.